Guys, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Advisory Board podcast, where we bring in experts from the franchise community to teach you how to avoid some of the challenges and also build franchises that can scale and last and provide value to the consumers, to the owners, and to the franchise home office. I've got with me today Mark Michael. And you guys, you'll know him because he's always dressed the nines and has sweet shades on as he's in conferences. And he's also a fantastic dude who just wants to do it right for brands and help them succeed. Mark, thanks for taking time to join me on the show today.
Dave, I just like that you like content as much as I do.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, today's content is going to be good because when Mark and I we were at Unconference, Park City.
Unconference.
Yeah, we were just chatting in the lobby, and he said some things that just caught my attention. I thought, gosh, like people in the industry are not thinking about websites and SEO the same way that Mark does. And so I'm going to introduce him, and then we're going to introduce a topic today, which is why every franchise brand has to own their website. But it doesn't mean what you think it means to own your website, because a lot of you don't. And so we're going to dive into what that even means, but also why it's so critical to success and long-term stability for your digital marketing strategies. But let's talk about Mark for a sec, because he's the co-founder and CEO of DevHub. And this is it's they only do websites, guys. They're the leading developers and managers of franchise websites. Now, they work with brands like Authority Brands, Homefront Brands, but what their strategy is to help franchise systems to own the domain, own the content, own the website strategy. And it's such a critical part of the digital marketing. We'll dive into that. But before I flip it to Mark, you also got to know that Mark's not just a website guy. Like there's so much more to this. They own their own technology. They've got tools that are going to help streamline things. But he's also a short story writer. He's if you want to take a look at some of his work, check out Traveler's Rush. He's involved in fine arts, filmmaking, hospitality, and working alongside his long-term partner Ashley Hayes. So really cool guy with a lot of dimensions. And he's also a stylish dude. So if you're looking for a suit, you might want to ask him for ideas because he dresses well. So Mark, now that I'm done being a little pandering here, tell us a little bit more about you, about DevHub, and then let's jump into the topic.
So, hey everybody. Mark Michael, Seattle, Washington, Arizona, New York. DevHub's physical offices are in Seattle, Washington. Have had the same business partner since I'm 72, since I'm 17, 42 today in general. This year I'll turn 43. The reason I say that at all is because again, simple human on planet Earth with you at the same time, trying to do good after having been behind the scenes of a lot of the agencies you use, a lot of the marketing technologies that you use, and to be front and center with franchise brands to be like, look, the secret to all of it is really having the best in websites and not just checking the box like, oh, our websites are done. And
Mhm.
so if I'm here to say anything, it's exceptional websites are only at DevHub. But of course, what else am I going to say as the CEO co-founder of DevHub? But I will lead you there, hopefully, over the course of this and our other interactions online.
Yeah. And also check out Mark's content, guys, online. He does a lot. He does a great job getting interviews with real people, having real discussions about real things. So, yeah, aside from today, which will be real, um, take a look at what he does there too. And Mark, let me ask you this. So you've been involved in this space for so long now. What's the landscape like today, like in website management? What are you seeing out there that reinforces what your strategy is at DevHub?
So yeah, okay. So here's how it goes, or here's how it's gone, and here's where it's going. Right. So for the first 15 years, most of you who are tuning into this particular podcast or episode had never heard of DevHub.
Mhm.
About 2 years ago, we decided we were going to go direct to brand. So let me tell you about the 15 years prior. So we come from the tech world. We are in the box of what's called CMS, which is
Mhm.
content management system. In the same box as a Squarespace, in the same box as a WordPress, in the same box of probably another 100 plus vendors in the website space.
Yeah.
The difference was the way we went to market was through a white label. So we white labeled to the Sochis of the world, the chat meters of the world, the NetSertives of the world, the Sprout Louds of the world. we were out there behind them. If you got microsites, websites, local pages, finders, even corporate sites, which we weren't really doing at the time because they didn't want to offer that, but whatever, we always had the capability. We were going through them. They white labeled it, rebranded it as their own product. It was all fine and good. Pandemic happens, and uh, a lot of those types of companies, agencies, other marketing technology tools are running paid social listings, and a lot of brands wanting to save money during that time are like, well, we want to shut off a lot of that. But guess what? No one wanted to shut off, obviously, their websites.
Right.
And at that time, we were like, oh my God, how much more valuable is a website? Well, said brands are going to partners saying, hey, we want to integrate with online ordering, Olo. We want to integrate Service Titan, ServiceMind. We want to integrate, we want to add 10 more pages for a franchisee or a dealer. And, all of these marketing tools, agencies are like, well, we are like basically widgets and we don't do any customizations. Everyone gets the same box. And we were like, and it just kept happening. And we're like, come on. Like, and then they were losing some of the brands, which are ultimately were coming off of DevHub. And we
Mhm.
were like, oh, we can't let these people control our destiny anymore.
Mhm.
And so basically end of 2023, we basically burned the boats, told all partners, hey, it's over. Some still stuck around though, for the record. They have to tell everyone that they are powered by DevHub.
Mhm.
And we said we're going to go direct after franchise brands because what's different about us versus WordPress, what's different versus us versus Squarespace is we are built for multi-location franchise. So not multi-site, a lot different, right?
Mhm.
Because the way we can leverage location data to push it to your listings, to push it through, pull in reviews based on a location is a lot different than just managing multiple websites for again, simplistic informational purposes, again, aka like a retail brand. And so a retail brand that's focused only on e-commerce, not locations. And so that's what brought us up to today. So, right, the power is in the website. All the other stuff is a commodity. We're like, okay, how do we sell that story? So we started going after franchise brands saying, look, until you own your website, you don't control your digital marketing stack.
Yeah.
Several, I would say over 30 brands took us up on that offer last year and a little bit of a waiting list going into, or right now in 2025.
Mhm.
Uh, where it's all really going is obviously, if you've heard anything about what's happened in the last year plus, obviously with these large language models, AI, whatever you want to call it, the website is truly the source of truth of the content of what a customer can expect when dealing with your brand. So,
Mhm.
will there be a place for a website in the next 3, 4, 5 years? Our bet is duh. Of course, there will be. Now,
Yeah.
how the consumer gets to that website, that might change, but that content and the systems built within that website need to be able to be read by, again, whether it's a chat GPT or Claude on one end, or the future of wherever Google goes, or your voice device that gets more sophisticated, or goggles should they happen in any actual rollout. And so we look at the site as like that source of truth, that experience that your customers get. But again, how do you make that like actually relevant to how people are searching? And it's a
Mhm.
never-ending job. And so today, what's happening in franchises, a lot of brands are like, we want to get our website built. Great. Let's talk about design. Let's talk about what platform, and then let's talk about what features you want integrated. Well, most agencies don't have actual developers, engineers, UX designers, support people, customer success teams for just website. They have that to manage your entire
Mhm.
marketing stack, right? Because you're getting your listings from them, you're getting reviews, you're getting paid, you're getting SEO, you're getting all this stuff. And so what's happening is they're doing a website project. First off, it's taking over a year to launch because it's like they don't know how to manage websites. I mean, point
Yeah.
blank.
Mhm.
And then the second thing that's happening is essentially once the website's launched a year later, it's already outdated.
Mhm.
And then it's like then they're just scrambling to do updates. They're getting upcharged managed services, support. Those are taking a long time. Now they have a backlog of 50 franchisees that they've signed that are ready to go live that it's taking them weeks to launch their websites. And it's just yeah. And granted, yes, you got that cheaper,
Mhm.
but like at what headache?
Yeah.
what time lost, what
Mhm.
opportunity cost.
Yeah.
And so again, what is I think becoming more apparent to a lot of the leaders in franchise is like DevHub is an evolving technology. So once you're on us, like you're always on the latest version. You're not on something that was bespoke built, not even purpose built, bespoke built for your use case for a cheaper cost that now needs to be frantically updated all the time to make sure that it's relevant to just what franchisees are saying. But how about if you're on a system where you never had those support requests? Because here's why what a franchisee is potentially asking doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
And then we can talk about AI stuff forever, but
Yeah.
ultimately building that AI agent who's essentially your web developer in-house to be able to make those updates in a simple chat prompt. So congrats, you didn't have to wait forever to learn coding. It's now in a simple prompt on your desktop or mobile device.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, I want to come back to the AI stuff in a little bit, but I want to make sure everyone heard a couple of key things that I heard you say. And most people, I think most people are aware that AI is becoming prevalent, but a lot of people they haven't noticed how prevalent it is in web search, which means consumers finding you. And so I want to go back to that for a second because what a lot of people don't know is number one search engines now are all powered by AI, and the AI bots are crawling your website differently than the old SEO bots used to crawl the websites. They're looking for FAQs, they're looking for data structure that helps them to answer questions with definitive answers because usually that little summary box is becoming more and more prevalent on mobile, on desktop. The first thing that you find is the AI summary when you search now on Google, and unless you scroll past it. But if you click on it, then it'll actually have links out to websites, but it's changing the way that people are experiencing the web right now. Will you have to have a website? Yeah, you've got to have one always. I don't think they'll ever go away, but it's becoming now almost more of a way to serve up the right content. So the bots are recommending you versus them going to your website directly like they used to. So it
And,
just
and then
helps.
and then
Go ahead.
one layer, I don't even know it's deeper, but then like imagine you're a home service brand and you tell one day your AI agent, pin, glasses, watch, whatever it ends up being, hey, one, you're talking to it differently. So you're saying, hey, I clogged my drain because, my daughter, son, or I accidentally threw a lot of paper towels down the drain. I have people coming over in 4 hours. I need this resolved. I need it done. Someone obviously to come today. Again, so that agent essentially is going out on the web, your personal assistant is going out on the web and looking for, okay, who is that potential plumber? Can I
Mhm.
book that plumber off of their website? So one to have a native integration, whether you're a day spa, a plumber, online ordering if you're fast food or fast casual, whatever type of restaurant, like being able to take the action natively within your website versus just a form that gets filled out.
Mhm.
I mean, again, it's like being able to take the action on the website. So reading the website, yes, but then being able to take the action and having the content to know that the action they're taking is going to get me ultimately the end consumer the result, aka somebody to show up in 4 hours before people come over and be
Mhm.
confident that someone is actually coming.
Yeah.
And so,
That's a major shift though. Like that whole
oh
concept
my
of
God, it's
take action. It used to all be about the funnel, like get as many people in the funnel as you can at the top. Who cares if they're interested or ready or whatever? Just capture their info. And we're moving away from that whole mindset to how do we get the right people on the website? And if they're ready, then how do we get them to buy now or transact now or schedule now or take whatever action is that you think they want to do? If you're an e-commerce site, buy the widget now, right? I think they've been doing that for years, but service industry has struggled with that concept, I think, for a long time.
honestly, it's all broken. It's honestly, it's so I mean, yesterday I was on a hotel website and I wanted to find out like what's the number for the restaurant. And it's like they're constantly pushing you to like book a hotel, but it's like corporate, so it's like Marriott, but it's like also boutique. It's all broken. Retail's broken. Like I want to know if this shoe is in this location so I can go get it before the party I need to go to. The fact that we can't even do that today in any like trustworthy fashion. So again, we go to Amazon, hope to God they can deliver either same day or the next day. And that's why Amazon just keeps winning.
Mhm.
And again, when we went down this rabbit hole pretty hard a couple years ago, It's essentially like, some of the largest companies are still running off of spreadsheets and archaic, POS systems that are just like don't talk to the other system. But what I think could happen is, again, some of these AIs that are coming out being able to actually connect all the systems, no matter how archaic they are, as long as they can be read.
Yep.
Like you almost didn't have to, if you waited long enough, like you're okay. So it should be,
Yeah.
we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I ran into a lady the other day who was running her franchise off of an Access database. And I
Yeah, I
was
haven't
like,
even heard of the word access probably in
yeah.
a long time.
I mean, I was working for a Microsoft partner, and we end of life the exams for Access like 17 years ago because wasn't relevant. So
I
now we're
always tell people, I always
talking.
say the same joke. You walk into a bank, they're still running Windows XP.
They are banks and insurance companies, but let's not go down that rabbit hole.
I know. I mean, yeah.
But all right, so let's talk about this. So one other thing that I want to make sure we pull out of what Mark's talking about today is the value of owning the website. And but they're like everyone on this who's listening probably think, well, I own my website, but not really. So can you maybe explain maybe a layer deeper, Mark? What do you mean by you've got to own your website?
Right. So there's a couple layers. So one, look, the most simplest version is should you want to leave your current vendor,
Hmm.
you're not going to lose any legacy SEO. You don't have a fear of your website being turned off, right? Like
Hmm.
you own your website. So if you decide to leave, you can leave. So one, it's like almost like a contractual thing more than a technological thing, but regardless, they play together. So one, we always say like you own your website because the content's yours, everything you do on the website's yours. The same way we would migrate somebody to DevHub, is we make it even probably easier to migrate off of DevHub.
Hmm.
Um, the other part of owning the website is like, again, you have 50 franchisees, 10, 5, 3 that need to launch their website.
Hmm.
Like you understand that should only be like maybe an hour of work. I'm getting that's like 5, 10. I mean, one should be in theory skeleton bones up and running within 5, 10 minutes.
Hmm.
If you have to put in a support request and wait 3 weeks, you don't own your website.
Yeah.
Your agency does. And they're looking for somebody to figure out how to spin up that other website.
Hmm.
Like it's crazy. And then if you're by the way, if you're getting charged for that time, you don't own your website. So it's like there's like it's in that vein. One, everything should be portable. You shouldn't be scared of a contract. You own your website. It's not like somebody could be like, we're just gonna shut it off if you don't, because you're leaving us. It's like, no, you should be able to leave at any time. All data should be portable.
Hmm.
And then the second part is like again, like the limitations of you all being able to either add pages, add a new franchisee, natively integrate with something, um, uh, taking advantage of, you know, I want to push this promo because something just happened in this part of the world or in the part of even the US. And like that task is not like we need to think about that 4 hour, 4 weeks from now. So we need to plan it from now. But ultimately, like, it can get done within the same time frame to actually take advantage of the opportunity. Like
Hmm.
so, being able to move quickly with your website, um, yeah, it's all of that means owning it. Like physically owning it, you own your domain name anyway. Like
Hmm.
so, you can point it wherever you need to point it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I love what you're sharing is spot on because if you're not able to react to the market's moving fast. So if you're not able to take advantage of a promo concept of a keyword that just
Look, it's
popped
like
up.
I'll just say it like this. I don't care. I'm gonna put out this video myself. Is like earlier today we shared with some of our clients, customers. Here's
Mhm.
how AI today you can use AI within DevHub. And one in auto care, one in home services. Home services was like, so the example they gave was like, um, if there's this type of bug that's being reported in the Northwest and it's eating some type of tree or flower, whatever the hell. Like you're telling me that I can go into DevHub, write up that blog post, and push it out to all the branches of our locations in the Northwest in 5 minutes. And it's like, yeah.
Hmm.
And that was like the holy shit, right?
Hmm.
I don't have to code anything.
Hmm.
I can literally just take advantage of the opportunity, right?
Right.
Auto, same thing. So if there's this recall, right? And I need to like let people know that this location is servicing that recall. I can go
Hmm.
into a chat interface and say, update this one location with this recall, or update all of them on the Eastern Seaboard because salt affected, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Like there's no agency call anymore. There's no more looking up your web developer if you don't want to. Like you and I can do it. That is the future.
Hmm.
Duh. And so that's why franchise brands with DevHub will win.
Yeah.
And I didn't look, I'm not holding back obviously right now, and I'm supposed to like regulate my voice, but I can hopefully people understand it as excitement and passion and not like arrogance. But regardless, it's like I'm unfortunately my probably character flaw is that I'm fiercely loyal. And the brands, customers who choose DevHub, I mean, like we're gonna make sure they win
Hmm.
against anybody who's not on DevHub. That's how I feel. And
Hmm.
it's disgusting because it's like a little bit evil in the sense of like, sorry, like you didn't choose us, so go figure it out on your own. And by the way, when you come back, I don't even know if we're gonna keep you, have you,
Hmm.
I wish we could build that company, but we'll take
Yeah.
them up. They're not stupid.
No,
Maybe.
but I appreciate it. You should be fierce about your ability to help your clients be successful. I have zero. I don't think you need to hold back or apologize about that at all.
Well, again, I think what I heard at Young or Unconference, which was a weird one for me. I've been on the conference circuit now almost 2 years.
Hmm.
This will be the third year, and I go to what, like six a year, I think it is roughly. The first time I ever heard this statement, and I'm asking you, Dave, you tell me
Hmm.
if you've heard it. The problem with franchise, and so don't forget, we're a vendor, right? We're websites.
Right.
But the problem in franchise is most all the technology is old. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, like most of the systems that a franchise brand is using, franchisor or franchisee, is like old. And
Hmm.
again, obviously, I know nothing beyond digital marketing, which to me is always kind of, I don't know how it can be old on that front. On the website, I do know, right? You got it installed 2 years ago. You know, you have a backlog of stuff that you're just ignored. But like, talk to me. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Oh yeah. No, we see
But
it
like, what does it
all the
mean?
time. It means that well, so because and franchising isn't an industry, right? This is a cross section of 100 industries, but
Right.
the franchise business model requires unique functionality that very few technology platforms can service. And so what it means is people will customize old systems and they get stuck on them because they're like, ooh, well, we used Access to build this database 15 years ago, and we built this custom widget in it, so now it works to support our multi-unit strategy. And so we run into this kind of stuff all the time. People operating off of spreadsheets. I mean, CRM side, right? Or they're trying to use like some old dog CRM like a Salesforce or a HubSpot. Or I think those are good CRMs, but they're trying to like bastardize tools to make them sort of work to support this unique data
Well, do you
model.
think they're doing it because they don't know better, or you think they're doing it because like they just want the lowest cost?
Most of the time, well, I would say one, a lot of them are ignorant, right? They don't realize that there are solutions that are designed to do what they need help with, like a DevHub or a ClientTether or whatever. But they're being steered down a convenient path by partners, right? So there are marketing people out there. They're like, "Oh, you got to use HubSpot," but what they won't say is, "We only know how to work with that platform, so we won't try to work with anything else." Or we only like systems integrators that get pulled into franchising. They're resellers for Salesforce, and so they're like, "Well, the only way that you can make this work is with Salesforce," and they don't even know that other platforms exist that do it out of the box, right? So those are a couple of things that I see that are kind of rampant in the industry. It's just kind of ignorance and not reaching out to see what is actually out there, and also third parties that are coming in and just kind of trying to apply things that worked in the automotive industry that don't work in franchising or wherever they come from, right? They're just trying to drag in tools that don't belong. So those are the two big things that I see that are creating some of these system issues. And there are also technologies in this industry that are old, right? That are really old, and they've acquired technologies that are even older. and they're still around. And so I know that they're constantly working to try to update themselves, but when you're running on rails that are 20 years old, you're gonna have issues with your tech stack. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's not a wrong statement. Although I will say, uh, guys like you, guys like us, we're trying to modernize as fast as we can in this space. It's very slow to adopt change.
Yeah, again, I think it's sometimes I think it's slow because of dollars, right? And so there's obviously like priority, like how valuable is a website when, oh, these guys are saying it's 100,000, but my friend says it's like eight. It's like, so what am I missing,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, I mean, it's
Mhm.
like that's the question I guess they should be asking. It's like, oh wait, what's the difference then? Because it can't be just price.
Yeah.
Like
What it's
one has
also.
to be adding that
Mhm.
value that's not there at 8,000 or 10,000, that's there at 100,
Mhm.
And again, what I'll say is like that's why I was so grateful today. It's funny this podcast is coming after again, we released all these AI things with DevHub with some of our choice customers today, and to see them, I don't know, be as excited as I am,
Mhm.
and knowing that like the loyalty, like the we want you to win, but really going even before that was like again taking a chance on us, right? Like literally, our
Mhm.
coming out was essentially last year, like truly last year. I think toward the end of 2023, fine, but like in terms of launching was all big first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of 2024, where our work is in the wild, where we actually have clients from like DevHub's the sickest, da, 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 da. Um, and so for them, I'm insanely grateful, right,
Mhm.
for taking that chance to be like, yeah, I know you guys might be more expensive, but it seems like you know what you're doing. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but it feels like this is right, like that, like it was crazy on them, but ultimately, I think they realize, oh, I'm on a framework, I'm on a platform, I'm on
Mhm.
like something that's like releasing every week something that's making my life easier,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh, that's the difference between 100 and 10,000, and so
Yeah.
anyway, it's just
You'll also find a lot of the younger brands, they don't have budgets, right? Like they don't have the budget to invest heavily or to really think strategically. They're just like, whoa, we're so tight. Let's just get the least expensive thing we can find. So a lot of the younger brands, you have to clean up a lot of messes where they're like, we got Grasshopper and Pipedrive and Zapier and they start just cobbling together these crappy solutions that sort of it got them to 10 units, but then they're like, oh no, like
well,
this
again,
is
what'll be funny, Dave, whenever you post this,
uh-huh.
I'll also post because somebody in one of our customers was talking about that. And then again, I'm not the smart one at DevHub. Luckily, is where I can be out here just like talking essentially like this, is that the people that are backing it up, But someone was talking about how, again, some of these AI tools can now connect those systems. And
Mhm.
I want to say like better than a Zapier. But again, like I don't know what I'm saying. So again, that's why I'll release the video roughly the same time. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
yeah,
and if you find any that are really, really good, I mean, man, that's even it's crazy, but having really robust, open, documented APIs with a postman so people can test their connections into our platform, like you would think that we were the first ones to slice bread. It's crazy when we talk to these brands, we're like, well, we can't do that with this platform or that platform. But having AI that is really good at connecting into APIs or into like tying into platforms at a code level, send anything my way you got. Because our goal is to keep our platform as modern and fast and nimble as possible.
yeah.
Let's shift. I want to go back to our topic and kind of wrap up on a few thoughts. One thing that I thought about when you and I had our conversation in Park City is that that not owning your website actually creates a lot of disparity across. You mentioned the risk, right? If you say, hey, I need to switch suppliers, they're no longer servicing my need to get the SEO up to date. They're really difficult. It takes 3 to 4 days to just get a website updated for a franchisee that's got a new thing that's urgent in their territory, or like the PPC performance isn't as good as I thought it was, but I can't like having everything wrapped into a single partner seems super appealing because there's one bill to pay, one throat to choke. But that actually creates a lot of challenges across the board. So I was wondering if maybe as kind of a wrap-up thought today, would you maybe highlight like why is having a great website so critical to your SEO strategy and your PPC strategy and and why is it good to separate the two? Because there's so much all-in-one talk right now that it kind of drives me crazy because I don't need my CRM to turn on my toaster and to like no like you need specialist partners that are great at something rather than just generalists that are okay at everything. So maybe could you share some thoughts on that, what you've observed in this world of tech?
Um, in a way, I would say it's probably similar to you said, like, the systems integrators, consultants who are like have some weird affinity to some tool. And so again, an all-in-one, whether that's through an agency or even a platform, again, like, are they really good at six things, eight things? And knowing that they're maybe failing in one, two, I mean, it doesn't give you the confidence in the other four or five. And so, you know, I mean, I'm just gonna say it like this, and I probably shouldn't, and I don't think I can get in trouble, but I guess you never know how this lives on the internet. But I'll just say it like this. There's just a lot of shitty marketers out there.
Hmm.
And so as a franchisor, who you surround yourself with in the team, in leadership to make decisions, right? And yes, sometimes things cost more, but again, like we all know the cliche, you get what you pay for.
Hmm.
It like matters. And so, it's like, I sympathize with like the emerging, right? Who are like, call it, I mean, again, a weird way, emerging to me is still like under 100, but let's just say under 100, under 20.
Hmm.
Um, where again, there is an appeal of all in one because it is one throat to choke. But again, it's when those support requests start coming in, like, hey, my location or territory is live, but my website is not appearing in search.
Hmm.
Or, hey, I'm paying $2,000 to this agency and my ad is not even coming up for my name, right? Or, my listing information is wrong. And that's all being handled by like a person. Like
Hmm.
you put three, four, five of those support requests for just one franchisee, and now you have 20 or 100. You think that how much staff do you think they have to support that
Hmm.
alongside of their other customers,
Right.
right? And so again, when I tell you about, leaders in marketing at these companies, like, yeah, essentially over 20, let's say, you do need to build a digital marketing stack, right? And again, I don't think you need to go more than three, probably four vendors,
Hmm.
right? And what we say, and again, it's true, but you'll learn it one way or another that the website is the heart of it. So then who you're using for paid, who you're using for advanced SEO, social, CRM, lead route, da, 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 like you're picking and some of those can have two, three things that they're good at. That's fine. But I don't know how you can be good at paid, potentially SEO content, which I think is going to be a whole different field in a second.
Hmm.
Listings, reviews, also lead routing, also your chat bot, also your social, and they're running your website. Like I don't get it. Like,
Hmm.
and there's a platform like you guys out there who are really good at what you do, and there's a platform like we really. So when there is something potentially broken, and potentially
Hmm.
have the expert in the room to talk to. Now, if the expert is failing you, get rid of them. You know,
Yeah.
but you're not having to be like figuring out how to unwind all of this stuff. And again, the graphic that we used to pitch that I think fell uh short of communicating this idea was like there's like it was like about I don't know a year ago or maybe it's updated every year, but it's the Martech marketing technology landscape
Hmm.
graphic, right? And when we first started in the space, there was I don't know 1,000 or 100. Now there's like I think 12 or 14,000 marketing technologies out there that service brands of all shapes and sizes. Like, do you think like these companies can even exist without being really good at the thing that they do
Hmm.
versus being like, I'm gonna go build the all-in-one and I do all of it? The all-in-one to me is a rat race built by investors to squeeze more revenue out of franchise brands, multi-location brands, any of their customers. Let's just keep stuffing more products in there so we can get more money from these people. And it's like, again, good luck, but ultimately we'll get what you pay for. And so, yeah, I don't know, somewhere in there was an answer and it should be obvious as hell. But again, like, I wanted to say one thing sort of related, but not really. It was like, we're talking about AI, AI, AI. And I was like, I'll just say it like this. Like, I didn't realize probably till today that some people are actually scared of it.
Hmm.
And I've been like kind of like really bullish on it. And I think it's like scared of it. Like, if I don't think about it, it's gonna go away. And it's like, I don't think it works like that. But again, that's one reason I love content. It's the reason why I love even doing like the podcast. Because like that's how I'm as of 10:56 a.m. on April 3rd, you know, that's the feeling subject to change in the next minute. So don't quote me. But it's like I didn't realize that there is a contingent of people who are actually scared and so are just doing the thing that feels safe for today
Hmm.
but they're just going to create more work literally tomorrow. And
Hmm.
so,
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. No, I
yeah,
feel you. It's funny because in the marketing space, especially, like we're talking about websites and content and things that we know AI is really good at.
yeah,
And in franchising, I've seen executives, even really smart people that are afraid of the hallucination side of AI. Like they're like, well, I can't trust that because, it might hallucinate and then create something. We're a regulated industry on the frandev site, blah, blah, blah. That's a valid concern, and you can control that if you understand AI well enough, right? But the other side of it is, oh crap, I have a team of 30 people supporting 17 brands. What's going to happen to their jobs? And we talked about it earlier, but I think that's the other thing that scares people is it's going to take over, and then they start questioning if they're in the matrix. Like, I mean, it's not real. Neither one of those is real, right? But they don't understand that it's just going to move menial tasks off of their team's plates and let their people work on those tasks that they wish they had more time to work on every day, if they leverage it right. If they leverage it right. But yeah, I think that's sadly based mostly in ignorance, and if they were to take the time to dig into it, they would find that the AI has a
well,
place that was.
I'll tell you that I'll show you. I don't think it'll translate, right? So, because what was kind of a weird realization is where people put value on websites,
Hmm.
and that only happened in the last, again, not people. True leaders who choose DevHub are like, DevHub, I'm choosing you because you're the best. Go for it. Do your thing. Tell us what works, right? But again, you do run into leaders in franchise who are like, I know what works best,
Hmm.
with websites, which I don't understand how they do. And they're like, I want my website to be like the best designed website. And I'm like, I think people forget like their website is essentially on this device. It's not on this desktop. It's not here. It's right here. Right now, it's right here. It's not here. It's not
Hmm.
here. It's right here. And so this is the example I gave to a brand to like, I want a really nice, pretty website. I'm like, this is what people would consider like pretty. There's like no, and there's like they're trying to be the luxury. You can't really see it. It's kind of a
Hmm.
shitty. But again, point is there's no action to take on this, just a really unique graphic.
Hmm.
And then here's like essentially like the four seasons, which you can't really tell. All of those buttons right there are all call to action. You want to go lodging, you want to go do this thing, you want to go do this thing, so there's a way to blend good design, but with like some sense of who you are as the brand.
Hmm.
But again, for a leader to double down, be like, you guys don't know how to design. It's like, no, because we're also thinking about how do you drive leads?
Hmm. To take
What is
action, right?
right?
Yeah.
How is this
Yeah.
going to look on mobile? Not the mock-ups that you're getting from a design agency that's like, this would be really cool, this animated graphic. I'm like, do you realize if you have a pop-up on your mobile device, you suck? But it's like they don't want to hear it. And so anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
this was great, Dave.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, Mark, thanks for making time. Guys, if actually if you don't mind, Mark, if somebody wants to find you, what's the best way for them to connect? LinkedIn or email, or what's the best way?
Look, I mean, I think I'm pretty open about it, but again, yes, devhub.com/contact or demo, or just look up Mark Michael on LinkedIn, drop me an email. On social, everything's at Glider CEO. That's Glider, Glider CEO, Chief Executive Officer, or whatever the hell it is nowadays. Um, and yeah, I'm out there. Mark Michael Seattle, Mark Michael DevHub. You'll find me and get in touch. And it's the best time to be alive right now.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of great stuff happening. Mark, thanks for being on. I sure appreciate all the content.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Dave.